The tropical mackerel clan are amongst the most popular target species found in Rockhampton's coastal waters. The monarch of this family is the Spanish or narrow-barred mackerel, which can reach almost 2 metres in length and weigh nearly 50 kilos in exceptional cases. One of the most consistently successful ways to target these larger Spanish or narrow-barred mackerel is to troll natural swim baits. However, these swim baits need to be rigged correctly on multiple hooks and a wire leader or trace so that they look lifelike in the water and don't spin or twist. Dan Caglis shows exactly how to do it.
A lot of guys, when they troll, there's a lot of perception that you just put the baits out and put the rods in the holder, and then just drive along until you can find it. Put your feet up. But sometimes the strike can be really, really subtle. You'll only feel a light tap on the rod, and then if you might miss it and your bait might get cut or might get eaten, you won't even know. So important that you have the rod in your hand. The other important thing is to be aware of what's going on around you, looking for current lines, looking for bait that's chopping on the surface, looking for birds. So being aware, and probably the most important thing is to have a really good sounder, and keeping an eye on the sounder so we can mark fish, so we know what areas to troll, where the fish are holding, what depth they're holding, and if they're holding a bit deeper, we might use a deeper jig head or something like that to get them down, or even something a little bit lighter. Speed the boat up a bit if they're sitting a bit higher in the water column. So just being aware and just being active all the time when trolling is really, really important to fishing success. You want a fairly firm drag for the initial hook up. To set those hooks, it's nice and still and stable. It means that the bait is just moving through the water perfectly straight. And wolf herring is pretty much a dynamite bait. If you're going to specifically target Spanish mackerel, that's definitely what you want to be using. And it's mostly because I think it's a real delicacy for the Spanish, so they really, really do like them. So
I thought this was tropical North Queensland. What's going on? I've got 4 layers of clothes on and I'm cold.
Yeah, if you're going to chase pelagics up here, you've got to come and do it in the wintertime. This is pretty much, at the moment, the target species up here, and well, you might come up here for might be a bit.
Nice fish. Oh, look at that big Spaniard. We've actually got a lot of big fish under us at the moment.
Yeah.
Big flat lines, which indicates big Spanish sitting under the boat. Now we've got a kill tank under your feet there. We might pull this guy in. Watch those hooks. And that's all that's left.
We're going to go through making a pretty simple wolf herring rig. To start with, probably the most important part is you need some type of weighted keel. I really like to use a weighted jig head because it allows me to vary the depth of my baits. So the 2 main types of jig heads I like to use are either a 6 ounce or an 8 ounce jig head. A 6 ounce jig head will swim your bait around about 25 to 30 feet. If you're in deeper water, say 60 feet, 70 feet, an 8 ounce jig head will be ideal. That'll get your bait down to about 40, 50 feet. Some of the tools that you're going to need, needle nose pliers, very important. I have a ruler here, 60 centimetre ruler, which has a sharpened edge, which we're going to use to slide down the wolf herring to create the cavity to put the hooks in. Some cutting tools, obviously your rig, which we'll go into later. A stainless steel needle, which we'll use to actually pull the hooks through, and some rigging wire. Okay, so take your hook. Most people use either 9/0 or 8/0 hooks. Very important that you have a straight shafted hook. Okay, these mustard tarpons are excellent. Using the eye-opening section of our pliers, we can just push down, and that will open the eyes of our hooks, and that allows us to put our barrel swivel through. And using our pliers, we can then close up the eye that we've created. It closes up the eye nicely, and then we can take our barrel swivel, we can push it down through that hook then is secured to the jig head. Now you want to do this. Keep using this procedure until you get the rig long enough so that it will fit into your desired desired wolf herring. First thing to do is just make sure that you secure the mouth closed with a bit of wire. If you leave the mouth open, it'll create a cavity for water to go through, and then therefore the wolf herring won't be able to swim properly. We take our sharpened edge metal ruler, and I like to use a metal ruler because it's got a bit of flexibility. You don't want something too rigid, and you just open up the gill cavity of the wolf herring, and you take your metal ruler and with the sharpened edge, and you really need that sharpened edge just to break through the gill area. And what you want to do is you want to find that backbone, and once you find the backbone, you'll be able to just push through here, and you'll hear a bit of a cracking noise, and that's actually the ruler running down the backbone of the fish. And what we're actually doing is creating a cavity. Put the hooks down inside, and it's just a sharp motion like that, lifting the fish up. And this is where the flexibility of the ruler comes into its own, because it can bend with the backbone, and all you have to do is run it down through the backbone. So as you can see, we've created a cavity there, and that cavity fits perfectly for the mustard hooks, as you can see, which fit perfectly in there as well. So once we've created that cavity, we can then take our needle, you can run it down, and we can run the needle through the cavity we've just created. Very important to make sure that that needle stays very straight. And that needle has a little bit of mono attached to it. And the reason why it has that mono is because we're going to use this end, this tag end here, to actually pull the hooks through. Just attach that tag mono and just make sure it's very tight. We can now begin to take our hooks and pull them down actually inside our fish. Now it's very important that the hooks remain upwards, facing upwards with the fish. So just take our first hook, slide it, and then we're able to just pull that through. And it's important that you take your time, because once the hooks go in, they won't come out. And as you can see, the hooks are moving down through the fish. Once we get our weighted keel to there, we can just simply slip that up underneath the fish like that. Cut the remaining tag at the end here. All right, so now we're going to attach the weighted keel to underneath the chin of the fish. And it's quite simple. We can just take a bit of wire, put it through the eye of the fish, just around the eye and out the other side. And then it's just a simple matter of twisting that wire so it's nice and tight. Simply keep twisting with the needle nose pliers until it's very tight. And sitting real central to the middle, we've got our finished wolf herring. Okay, all rigged up inside. All the hooks are inside where it can't be seen, and a perfect little keel running down the front, and with the 6-ounce jig head. And then if you like to finish it off, you can take a little skirt, push it down and through, and what this will do will actually create a bit of attraction as well as hide the weighted keel as well. One rigged wolf herring.
Come on, Pete.
Oh, no, look up.
Look up.
I haven't got you, have I?
I don't know. You're under.
Oh, yeah.
Double hook up on Spaniard. Dan had a big bite, so I started to crank my wolfie in and I got hit halfway in.
Oh, there he goes. And there he is, a beautiful Spanish.
Now we're going to do this, Dan. You want the gaff to do a solo gaff?
I can do a solo.
Solo gaff. I'll leave my fish out wide, Dan. I've just got him out here on a bit of string, so I won't bring him in too quick. I'm not going hard on this guy. I'll keep him out wide till you get yours in. Does he look like a pretty good fish?
Oh, he's about the same. Drop the gaff underneath him there, mate. That'll be good. Underneath. Okay, take him. You get to worry about getting yours.
Oh, them hooks are in. He's a nice fish.
John, not to get him. Watch your feet, mate. Right on the floor.
Yeah, it's a bit of a wake up when they hit one of them baits, isn't it, Dan? They don't fuck around.
Nah, really stretch. Oh, he's a nice fish. Good one.
You're right. I'll steer him up here.
It's going to be a pleasure to get one of your fish down.
Yeah, I didn't have a good job on yours, did I? Oh, we got it.
See that little herring hanging out of here?
Yeah, half a little herring. Wet. Oh, look at the colours on him.
Beautiful, beautiful early morning Spanish mackerel.
Brilliant.
Right on the bottom of the tide.
Well done, mate.
Double.
Good stuff.
Next time you're heading offshore in the Rockhampton region, make sure you try rigging and trolling a couple of swim baits. You just might find yourself connected to the fish of a lifetime.